1 week to go before we know who will fill out the rest of Pat Tiberi's congressional term. Democrat Danny O'Connor and Republican Troy Balderson are looking to replace Tiberi, who left Congress last winter. Kyle Kondik, the veteran political prognosticator of Sabato's Crystal Ball, says the race has moved from leans Republican to a toss-up. Kondik points to early voting trends as one reason for his change. O'Connor, meanwhile, ran into a bit of trouble on national TV this week when he was asked about his refusal to support House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Who are you going to vote for Speaker?
I don't know who's going to run, but I know
Pelosi's running for re-election.
We need change. So. We need change on both sides.
So you're not voting for Pelosi?
No.
Well, how are you going to help the Democrats get the 218 they knew to win the House? You have to be one of the votes.
Yeah,
so what are you going to do? If you're one of the 218, they need to take control of the House, and the vote on the floor is Pelosi. What are you going to do?
We need leadership.
And you don't get control of the House.
Well, we need to.
If it's a decisive vote, would you vote against Pelosi? If it's decisive,
we need new leadership
you're
on both sides.
You know you have to decide this. Just tell me you know you have to decide it.
No, but we need new leadership.
No, just tell me you know.
The old ways aren't working.
No, you know that for the Democrats can get control, you have to have 218 members of the House vote for the candidate of the Democratic Party for Speaker.
I would support whoever the Democratic Party puts forward.
Danny O'Connor.
Some hardball there. If you did not catch that, Matthews got O'Connor to basically admit that he could vote for Pelosi if it was basically between her and the Republican for Speaker. Republicans still pounced, saying O'Connor went back on his promise not to support Pelosi. Jingles, first to this question. How much do voters in the 12th Congressional District really care about Nancy Pelosi or whoever's going to be the Speaker on Jim Jordan, who's going to be possibly the Speaker on the Republican side?
You know, that's a good question. I'd love to know the answer to that, Mike. I'm trying to figure that out myself. I don't hear people talking about Nancy Pelosi. I don't hear people talking so much about Jim Jordan, although I hear a little more of that just because it's in the news every day when you turn it on and, you know, in front of the paper. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, these kind of questions, this line of questioning is exactly why we have problems as reporters getting newsmakers to come in and talk to us.
That's a good point.
And I think, you know, I don't want to be critical of Chris Matthews. I know he's doing his job. I know he's trying to get an answer. But to have that taken out, you know, in 2 or 3 seconds and portrayed as what he said, you know, we've got to take it all in context.
If you listen carefully during that clip, you can hear a smacking sound in the background. Those are the aides of O'Connor smacking their hands against their heads because they realized that this is now the turning point in this race. The kind of voter who turns out in a special election tends to be your most partisan type of voter, and this is a Republican district. I can assure you Republican partisans hate Nancy Pelosi. Independents just dislike her. Republican partisans hate her. O'Connor was running a good race. This is a pivot point. He's in trouble because of this.
I agree with Mark up to this point. I think O'Connor has run a surprisingly good race, and it was good up until this point. But then I have to go with Joe. He should have been prepared for this.
I agree.
He was, but he wasn't prepared to get pressed 4 or 5 times.
Right.
He did say he would not vote for Pelosi. But then, you know, the scenario.
Chris Matthews is that kind of interview.
Yeah.
When I prepare someone for that show, I let them know. And also, he's a former Democrat Speaker of the House. He knows how to whip votes, man. He loves to push that.
And
stuff.
he pushes you. But you still, if you're going on this show, you still should be prepared for
We're
all
on the
that.
same page. I agree.
You know, you have a one-word answer, and you let it go.
Also this week, Donald Trump fully endorsed Troy Balderson, the Republican running in this district, tweeted out earlier this week that Troy Balderson has his full and total endorsement, and then again on Friday he's repeated that he has his full and total endorsement. Jesse Baumert, and guess that's in place of his half and kind of endorsement. Anyway. But how much does Donald Trump's endorsement help or hurt Troy Balderson in this district?
Well, double endorsement is twice as nice, I suppose. But I think it helps him. This is a district that went for Donald Trump by 11 percentage points, so a little bit more than the state average of 8 percentage points. It is a district where there are rural voters in addition to your kind of suburban northern Columbus suburbs up to Delaware County, which is just a consistent Republican stronghold. It's interesting that this race is competitive at all, given just how strong of a GOP district it is. But I think the president is still popular there. The one caveat to that being is there is some polling or prognosticating about educated suburban women being more likely to vote against Trump, and that is a demographic that is in the 12th district, perhaps more so than other parts of the state. And so those voters, and I think Danny O'Connor, the Democrat, is going after those voters, those people who might be a little concerned about Trump's tweets and his tone, and he's also going after those enthusiastic Democrats who can't stand Trump being in the White House.
If Republicans dislike Nancy Pelosi, Democrats certainly dislike Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Could this further energize Democratic voters?
It could. If O'Connor wins this race, it will be because of Democrat energy against Donald Trump. I frankly don't think there's enough to do that. And I also think this would not be getting our attention if it were election in the fall, which of course it will be again in the fall. Special elections get more attention because they're the only ones out there to cover. Having said that, I still think Balderson wins this race.
Yeah, but O'Connor's has already won. The Democrats have already won. They may lose the election, but they took a district with an 11-point plurality that Trump had and made it competitive. Come on.
We'll give them the moral victory and we'll take the seat.
Well, it's also
I was going to say that's true, but Tim Ryan came out earlier this year and said Democrats need to stop relying on moral victories. So
And
is
one
that
thing-
the same thing?
It ain't over yet.
One thing to look at, let's look at the numbers in the primary. Before Election Day, the Democratic absentee ballots were 50%, the Republicans were 43%. But then when you looked at it after Election Day and you saw the totals, then the Republicans had 51.7% and the Democrats had 43%.
Just in the primary?
So this was the primary this year. So when you're looking at those numbers, you've got to think, you know, maybe the Republicans haven't spoken yet. You know, we're seeing these early numbers,
Yeah.
but it might be not be all the story.
Republicans tend to vote on Election Day.
Right.
There are a lot more candidates in that primary, too, for Republicans. But and this is the first game of a doubleheader. We're going to do it all again in the fall.